Hello everyone, so I'm going to call this video Bad Mother with a question mark, I think. Anyways, I'm flying off the top. Um, I am like everyone else, and there's this person that you see, but you know that, like, if you were to dig into my life, as if you dig in anyone's life, you're gonna find stuff that are 10 times, a million times worse than you could ever imagine or ever think. Well, my life's not much different from everybody else. Hold on, this guy's talking so loud, I can't hear. Okay, so yeah, so my life is kind of like that too, and um, I I've had, you know, one of those regular lives, I'll call it that. And I have a son who's not with me because um, I grew I gave him to his father because I felt like I was a bad mother. I thought as a single mother, I would be the same kind of mother that my mother was. Now, my mom was we went through a lot of poverty. We went from shelter to shelter. We lived in cars. We lived with really pornographic boyfriends who you don't even want to know. And we had some really bad situations as a child. My mom could never really afford to keep me, so I'd be like at this relative's house this 3 months, and then after at another relative's house another month. And it was, utter chaos. It was very um, up and down, eventful childhood. I liked living with my mother opposed to living with my father because at least my mom wasn't pummeling me, um, and that's another story I'm going to get into. But anyways, yeah, I felt like if I choose me as a kid, not being with my father, for me, I felt was such a horrible thing. I felt like my mom just couldn't do it on her own. And like I said, we lived in destitute. We were very destitute of some sort of stability, I guess. So um, I felt and living in poverty. Living in poverty with a woman is a very how should I say? It's not a feeling that instills in you any type of trust or confidence. You feel a heightened level of anxiety as a child when your only caregiver is a very poor woman. Nothing against women. Um, so I didn't want to do that when I had the choice to either run for my life because my significant other was basically trying to kill me, or and take my very sickly son who was very sickly. He had got some severe types of chronic issues, as a baby. Do I take him from his father, who I love? I loved his father. I have to be honest. I love him to this day. But if I let him kill me, there will be no more of me to love him or to love my children. So I had to get out of that situation. So, um, yeah, I don't want this to be a long video. So, I felt like if I take him, I'll be that. I'm gonna be. He's gonna have that bad life. He's gonna have that poverty. He's gonna experience all those terrible things. But my eldest son is 15 now, and I have to be honest. Like, oh, that's what the story was about. Okay, sorry, flip flopping all over the place. So yes, I had that type of life with my mother. And then my father. So my father just got back into my life recently. He's just in the ether. He's such a piece of shit right now that he has not made the effort to come and see his daughter. Every time I've done camping trips, I've done different things. Okay, meet me here, meet me there. He does not want to come and see me. And we had what ended up happening is I got taken away from my mom and I came to live with him. My father now, we had a good relationship because I look exactly like him. I'm his most docile, obedient daughter. I don't want to say I'm a naive person, but I'm a very obedient person. Like, you get around me and you'll see that, like, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. I'm a good girl, right? And my stepmother, she is a very, well, I don't know how to place her exactly, but she taught her kids to really just don't respect my father and respect me. And that was the tone in the home. He wasn't allowed to discipline them. He practically wasn't allowed to talk to them. Just his job was to come home. When it came to parenting, you can play with the kids a little bit, take them outside, and beat Michelle, and that's pretty much your job. But if you ever yell at my children or discipline my children, she would call them my children. And she really placed this dichotomy between her and her husband, so anyways, who was my father. And my father, we had such a good relationship that, like, my stepmother, she would be pummeling me all day, and my father knew because he'd come home and he'd see my busted lip and my face was engorged because my things would be swollen in my face or in my eye, and he would just come and he'd cry and he'd bawl. I'm like maybe 13, 11, 12. And he's like, I don't want to be you. And we'd be in the room and he's just crying because he's probably looking at my face and seeing, like, this is so wrong. This is like, you don't get any wronger than this. Like, you come home and your child is beaten up by this freaking crazy wife of yours. And then every night she tells you to come home and beat her because, oh, she didn't listen to me. That is an utter lie. Like, I would spend the whole day massaging her feet, massaging her back, whatever she wanted. Like, I was the slave of the house, okay? She'd be sitting beside the converter and she'd call me from doing the laundry, doing the dishes, doing the kitchen, doing the bathroom, all the things I had to do, cleaning up after 5 children, to come and pick up the converter for her and pass it to her. Okay? And yeah. But my father and me, we had this bond because we were the ostracized too. Like, I think she had, like, maybe bipolar or some sort of mental disorder. She must have, because she'd come and she'd be screaming at the top of her lungs, throwing pots, throwing pans at him. Like, she always swore. She swore so much. She was like, F this, you effing that, and you effing that. And you just hear her upstairs just cussing nonstop, like, worse than a sailor. Like, a sailor would be put to shame. A sailor would be like, oh my gosh. I can't top that, you know? So, um, so because we weren't allowed to talk, we were the silent. We were getting abused. My father was getting abused, and I was getting abused. And so, and I have a temperament like my father. In a lot of ways, I'm just like my father. Um, so the fact that he hasn't come to see me, he hasn't made the effort to see me like at all, is really upsetting me, because for the first time I'm seeing him as a deadbeat dad. Like, I always loved my father, and I always felt sorry for the fact that he was being abused um, as a male. And this is why I always believed in men's rights. I believed in, I believed in men's rights so much that that my son ended up staying with his father, because his father has a right too. And um, all kinds of issues, have ensued, because now I'm sticking up more for men's rights than my own, and that can be a very dangerous place for a woman. It has not worked out for me, I'll tell you that much. But anyways, so about me being a bad mother again. My son is 15, the son that has been with me, and we've always had like a 2-bedroom apartment or place. We are in a 1-bedroom right now, and it is because of school. I thought, okay, I have to downsize if I'm going to be going to school. I got to save money and stuff like that, and yada, yada, yada. But the thing is that, okay, sorry, I gotta cancel this because this guy talking is really throwing me off. Please be quiet. Stop. Stop. Sometimes I do really well with talking in the background, and right now I can't even hear myself think. So, basically, where was I? Yes. So I was just working, and I was always really able to provide. We were always able to do things that kids should experience, like, ice capades and science center and uh, lessons for this or lessons for that, or music lessons or lacrosse or baseball, and I've always gone to church every Sunday, so we always had our church outings, which would be followed by McDonald's or followed by the Science Center or followed by some family time, And I really wasn't living this. I didn't end up living the life that my mom did, where, like, we were just poor, and then I'd end up at parties 60s types of parties, where kids shouldn't be there because there's spoons heating up things, and needles, and drugs, and people snorting drugs, and all kinds of weird stuff going on. And my mom was in the music world, so this was the life. And I think downtown Toronto, High Park area, these parties were like, they were actually for the upper echelons, people who obviously had money to do that type of those drugs at that time. And they were like, I don't want to say they're nice parties, but they were very nice houses. And yeah, I just had a lot of really bad experiences. So I don't even drink. I don't, like, my mom was a drunk. That was another part of having a bad childhood with my mom. She would drink quite often and be drunk and be strung out quite a bit because of drugs the night before, or 3 days before. The smoking too really bothered me, all types of cigarettes. And yeah, that was the kind of life that I lived with my mom. And I was afraid that I would be the same kind of mother, and the ex that I was running from that was trying to kill me, he would tell me I'm a horrible mother. And hearing that 1,000 times, maybe a million, you begin to believe it, like, oh my gosh, I'm a horrible mother, I can't take care of a child. But I've done a pretty good job with my son. My biggest mistake was, I think, going to school. I really tried to take off more than I could chew. Like, when I could work, if you could work in Canada, you could pretty much have whatever you need. You can work 2 jobs, you're good to go, because, you get your minimum wage. And I knew how to do that. I knew how to work, so I could provide. So I was never really sitting around on welfare, getting drunk, doing drugs, sitting around with bad friends, because I just frankly didn't have the time for it, and I was busy providing. But dare I say, school has ruined me. Like, now I really am out of the flow of working. Um, Getting up early in the morning, doing these type of things, doing what you got to do to get a job, to have a job, to keep yourself afloat. And because of school, I went into a horrible depression. And my depression really turned me into that. It was almost like being strung out. Um, you know, yeah, it was like being strung out, like that person who can't get out of bed, that mom who's just not really doing very well. And you can see when somebody is not healthy, is not doing okay. And like, depression is a really bad thing. Like, I have to praise the Lord that I'm alive right now. I don't know what got me out. I don't know what stopped it exactly from happening. I feel like um, I feel like I had a really bad period where I'd be crying. I was crying for like 2 weeks, because I really just wanted to go down to the water in the middle of the night and just throw myself in where I knew I couldn't swim. I can't swim. And the chances of me making it were not very high. And this thought was just drawing me like a lover. Like, when you love somebody and you want to be with them so badly, it's like, so I'd be crying, like, oh, I just want to. Well, life is so horrible. And a lot of people say that it's a selfish thing to kill yourself. Like, it's the most selfish thing. But the thoughts that go on in your head is, you feel like you have this dark, this story, this evil that keeps on playing out, and it's playing out in your life. And because you're alive, this dark shadow is cast on the world, because there's nothing to stop the cycle. So you're making the world a darker place for your son, for the people around you, because they are watching this dark circle constantly happen to you, and it's making their environment unhealthy, because your life is just unhealthy, because you can't do anything about fate or the devil or the problems in your life that are just continually going to be. Regardless of what you do, regardless of what you try, there's nothing you can do. And then that is in the past. I'm not, that's how I was feeling in the past, and that's what I thought was up in the past. But now I am into a new reality where I can change things. God can change things, obviously. He made everything. And I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever is coming. I'm ready. I'm good to go. I have made the decision that I'm going to live through this. Whatever God has for me, I'm living through it. I'm not going to, I'm not going to cop out because I don't know why. I just decided. And that's a good thing that I decided that. And I feel pretty strong in that now. But the depression really disabled me from being the mother that I was. I was the mother who had all the kids in the neighborhood over, who was taking all the kids to church, who was having Bible study with all the kids. It even makes me want to cry. I was the mom who brought the kids pretty much everywhere with me. I was going grocery shopping, the kids were with me. And then, there'd always be something fun at the end of the week because they always came to school with me, or they came here, or they were just with me all the time because they asked to be with me, and that's just the way that it was, and a lot of them, I just read them the Bible one day, and then I wasn't like a powerful sermon or anything. I was just like, okay, who wants to be saved? And they put up their hand, and I was like, oh, really? We have to go. Like, do we really got to do this now? But, so I was like a spiritual mom, I guess, to them, and I felt like I needed to. So we were fam. I need to help them in their walk, and we were fam, right? Their struggles, my struggles, my struggles, their struggles. And we'd go swimming, we'd go to the beach, we'd go to the science center, the zoo, all kinds of things. And people would be like asking me, well, what camp is this? And I was like, that's not a camp, that's my house. That's my life every day. It's not a camp. But as of my depression, all of that just disappeared. Disappeared. And you see a totally different mother who's disengaged, uninvolved. It's such a stark difference that it's shocking. Like, even the difference can just depresses me, actually. But yeah, I wanted to get through this video rather simply so that I could read the Seafarer in Old English, but it doesn't look like that's going to be able to happen. I don't know if I've been rambling or... Oh, and I wanted to show you I've been using cloth pads. And I wanted to show you them. I got Doug to order me some because I was so nervous about ordering cloth pads, so I got my 79-year-old neighbor to order them for me so that I didn't have to. And of course he ordered ones that are way too small, but I do love them. Like, I haven't given up yet. I did go and end up buying regular pads the other day because the ones that he got me were way too small, but I got the minky ones, and the minky ones are so easy to clean. You can clean them in like literally minutes. And you're thinking that this is blood, like how are you going to wash blood out easily? Trust me, try it. And also out of my underwears, when you get those blood stains, stuff like that, Comet really works. Try using Comet. It's just works so easily. So, but if you have like nice colors that you want to stay, it'll probably bleach those colors out. So, and I'm talking about the powder, I'm not talking about the liquid. So don't use it on, like, if there's a color that you want to keep, like a nice red or whatever color of underwear you might have. Just FYI that if you have a blood stain and you try to use powdered Comet to clean it out, it may destroy the color a bit. There's some discoloring. Yeah, discoloring, I'll call it that. But they're so nice. Like, I really just want to show you one. They're so They're so nice. They have like such nice patterns on it. He ordered me the mixed bag, like the surprise me bundle, so it was cheaper. It was like $40, so it's good for now, I think, when my period is settling down. But during the heat of my period, it's just a mess. So, the point of this video was to reveal that I'm pretty angry at my father right now for not seeing me after over 10 years. That my life, to reveal that, yeah, my life has some real life hiccups, just like everybody else. Please do yourself a favor and try cloth pads. They are not only environmentally good, but I have a lot less cramps with them because I'm not getting, I don't know, the chemicals from, I don't know, it just feels so much better, much more comfortable, much more natural. I don't know, for me, it'll be, once I get the right size of cloth pads, that's gonna be it. Like, I'm not gonna use, I'm gonna hardly ever use regular pads. I'm sold. I'm sold. My JJ is sold. Okay, I'll put it that way. What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna say peace because I have got 27 minutes, about to be 27 minutes, and I'm not happy about that. I do want to read some Old English, so that's going to be in the next video. So goodbye everyone, and have a wonderful day.